was a time in my life where I lacked respect for myself, and I promise you, that was one of the roughest patches in my life. And you're watching this video, so you probably understand how rough it is when you lack respect for yourself. But trust me, by the end of this video, you're going to know what to do to start respecting yourself. But my problem was, I was a people pleaser. Again, there was a time in my life where I didn't have that many friends. I was a bit of a loner, and I wanted more people to like me. So I decided, why don't I become a people pleaser? Why don't I become the class clown? And maybe people will like me if I make them laugh enough. You know, we've all been there. So there were times we'd be in class, we'd be working, and someone would tell me, "Oh, OD, do this. You know, it'll be funny." And silly me, I would do that thing, thinking that if I make everyone laugh, maybe they'll like me. Maybe they'll invite me to the things that they do. And, I was a funny guy back then, but I was doing stupid stuff now. Remember there were times I'm not even going to go into detail about the things I'd be doing, but I'd be doing stupid things that I didn't need to do. It wasn't malicious, but it was just unnecessary. And as I did these things, I expected that people would like me more. I thought, now I'm going to get invited to that party. But I didn't get invited to any parties. It didn't work at all. It was a failed mission. On the flip side, I was actually less happy about myself. I was less happy about my life. And you probably feel the same way if you lack respect for yourself. So I decided, let me start respecting myself. Let me start trying to be myself more, because I was tired of being someone that I wasn't. And it was at this point that people who maybe didn't like me that much, or maybe didn't have any opinion about me, actually started hating me. They went from being neutral to really jumping on the hate train just because I respected myself. And that was a crazy realization. And I'm warning you in advance, when you learn how to respect yourself, a lot of people won't like it because they can't use you anymore. I'm going to talk more about that in the video. But I'm going to tell you first how to respect yourself. The first way to respect yourself is to have a set of values. You need to have your own values. For example, I don't steal. I'm not going to steal. That's not part of my nature. So I remember when I was younger and some of these people who were my friends back then were telling me, "OD, let's go to that shop and steal. You know, the guy who works there, he's not going to be looking. You know, we can get all the candy we want." I said, "Bro, number one, go to the gym. I'm in shape. I don't need no candy." But secondly, I was like, "Bro, I don't steal." And I didn't want to be a part of any of that. And those guys were not my friends for much longer. But you can see, when you have a set of values, it's very easy to have boundaries. And when you have boundaries, it's easier to say no. But if, let's say, I didn't have a set of values and they say, "OD, come and steal," I'm thinking, what are my values? I can't think of any. So now I'm not able to set up any boundaries. I don't have any boundaries. And now, I don't know. Should I say yes? Should I say no? I'm actually thinking about joining them and stealing. But if you have boundaries and you have those values, it's an instant no. So make sure you have a set of boundaries. Make sure you have a set of values, most importantly. Write them down if you have to. Read them every morning. Make sure they are embodied. Make sure they're internalized. This is so important for respecting yourself. The second thing you need to do if you want to respect yourself more is have a sense of purpose. When you have a sense of purpose, it gives you direction in life. I often find that the people who say yes to everything, the people who try and people please and don't respect themselves, have no clue where they're going in life. So right now, you need to think to yourself, what do I want to achieve in life? What do I want to gain from life? Set yourself a difficult goal. It needs to be a very hard one, because that means you're now going to have to try hard and you're going to have to devote your life to it. And once you have this sense of purpose, this sense of direction, it's going to be a lot easier for you to say no to people. Let me give you an example. If I'm trying to go from here to here, point A, point B, I know, okay, I just need to go straight and I'll get straight to point B. But let's say I didn't know where I want to go and I'm just at point A. I could go anywhere now. I could go anywhere. So if someone says, "Oh, come to point C," I'll be like, why not? I'm not going anywhere anyway. So now you find that you're actually going into other people's paths rather than staying on your own one. And that's so dangerous because you could end up in any path and it might not suit you at all. It might not benefit you in any way. So have a sense of direction and purpose. So you know, I'm going to path B. I'm in A, I'm going to B. Someone's telling me to come to C. You say, leave me alone. I'm going to part B. I don't need to go to C. I know where I'm going in life. That's what happens when you have a sense of purpose and direction. So make sure you get those goals. And if you figure out your goals, write them in the comments so I can see them. We can talk about it. And again, as I've said before, it's so important to have this sense of purpose. Without it, you feel lost. And if you need people around you who are like-minded and going to help you reach your full potential, because you don't want to do this alone, click the link in my description. It's a link to my community. It's full of young men trying to live purposeful lives and reach their full potential. And it'll be great for you to help you actually have that sense of purpose and have the accountability from like-minded individuals to really pursue that purpose and not go on the wrong path. So check that out. But let's now talk about why people hate it when you actually learn to respect yourself. See, the reason why people were not just indifferent about me and they didn't like me to now hating me was because most people don't have your best interest in mind. They only think about themselves and they only think about their goals. For example, when that kid said, OD, do something to make the class laugh, he's just thinking about his health. He's just thinking about his own laugh. He's not thinking about me. He's not thinking about when I get home and I'm going to get whooping now or something. I'm joking. He's not thinking about that at all. I'm going to get in trouble now. I'm going to take all of the blame. He's having his laugh. He doesn't care about me. But when you have your own values, when you have your own sense of direction, when you start to respect yourself, people can't just use you for their own advantage anymore. And that hurts a lot of people. And that's one way to know, actually, this person shouldn't be in my life. If you have a friend and they're telling you to do stuff and it doesn't align with your goals, doesn't align with your values, and they get upset about that, you need to cut that person off expeditiously. You don't know what that word means. It means quickly, expeditiously. Cut them off ASAP, as soon as possible, because that person will not serve you in your life. They only care about themselves. They're fully self-interested. They don't care about you. But these are the ways that you're going to respect yourself more. And that's why people hate you. Trust me, once you start respecting yourself more, the hate is natural. But I've told you already, so you're going to expect it. And you're going to easily identify it. But this is the end of the video. Like, comment, make sure you tell me what your goals are. And, tell me about your situations with how you haven't been respecting yourself, what things are like. I can help you in the comments, and make sure you click the link in my description and join my community. It will really help you. Subscribe as well. I'll see you all in the next one.